So are we ready? Are we recording?
No, we're not recording yet, but if we're ready, we can go ahead and go.
Okay.
We're videoing.
Yes,
Yeah.
true.
Hi.
Alright, we're live.
Okay, we're recording now.
We're tired.
Oh my god, we're so tired. I just didn't sleep.
So tired.
I was awake I woke up at 4 o'clock and I had this horrible headache, which I still have. It's better now, but like I was nauseous and everything at 4 and I could not go to sleep. And then at 5, my son's alarm started going off and I was like, it is spring break.
What are you even?
What is going on? And so he wasn't waking up to turn it off. So it was just going off and going off. So finally, I go to his door and I'm like banging on it. Turn your alarm off!
That's when you get your pellet gun and just shoot it.
I would be afraid of you in the morning, like in a
You
bathrobe, mad about
Yeah,
it. Yep.
that would be wise
I'll
to
run
be
in the
afraid
other
of me in the
direction.
morning.
So this is the Nerd Factor
Oh yeah, yeah.
library podcast. We're all
I'm
very tired today.
Brandon. Hello, good morning.
This might be called the sleepy episode.
This
I don't know.
is.
Or the tired episode.
This is Cece.
This is April.
As you can tell, we are full of energy today.
Full. And I have a super, super happy topic to talk about.
It is approximately 9:50 a.m. on a Friday morning.
I know, it's a Friday. And it doesn't
Why
feel
did
like
we
a
do
Friday.
this?
Yeah, it's a good question.
Why do we make Friday of all days?
I'm not sure.
I was
I
up
don't-
late last night getting wild. It's Thursday night, college campus. I'm just kidding, I haven't been on a college campus in like 10 years.
What did you do?
I was like, I was on a college campus last night, but I had rehearsal. It was completely
I
different.
played
I'm like,
video
did you go
games
to
and...
Jay Sutter's Mill in 1999?
Oh my gosh! Yes! That was my 1999, my freshman year of college. Jay Sutter's Mill.
So,
I never made it there, but I know lots of my friends did.
That is where the current post office is now.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay, right on.
Like the
Current
building
now.
burnt down, didn't it?
No, they tore it down.
Oh, did they tear it
It
down?
needed to be burned down and then tore down.
And
They
it had
just
salt
tore it down.
scattered on the
Yeah.
field.
Right. Ashes to the wind at the beach.
That was the place that everyone went when they were not old enough, and it didn't matter.
That kind of place. Okay,
Yeah.
right on.
Fun.
Yeah, well, I'm old enough. I'm just, I sat on my butt and played video games and ate half a jar of peanut butter last night.
Oh, okay.
That's what I did with my day.
That sounds better than what I did,
What'd
which
you
I
do?
mentioned before, but I have a second job, because shockingly enough, librarians don't make a lot of money.
Yep, it's true.
Yeah, I figured out my hourly rate yesterday, and I was like, really? That's it?
Just don't do that.
Yeah, I hadn't done it in several years because I was like, you know what, I know how much I get paid,
Well, I
and
mean,
that's
this is
fine.
kind of topical with some of the like statewide conversations. about
Absolutely.
teacher pay,
Yeah,
but
no
Part of the
doubt.
reason I'm wearing
librarians-
this is in actually solidarity with the EKU
Oh, nice.
because their Board of Regents is meeting right now
Are they?
to decide which programs are going to be officially cut. And so I'm standing in solidarity with the theater department and most of the other departments as well,
Yeah.
saying, hey, you can't cut the heart and soul out of this
Yeah.
university. But it's because of the state budget cuts and
Yeah.
things.
Yeah.
So, sorry, I cut you off.
No, I mean, like, it's just, I mean, it's really difficult on all ends of it. I mean,
It really is.
what do you do when you don't have money, you know? I mean,
Right.
something has to go, but like, what has to go?
Right.
Yeah.
It's
Well, you
terrible.
also figure out ways to bring more in.
That's
I'm
true.
just going to leave that alone, though.
Let's just rant about that.
All right.
But
Oh,
yeah,
so-
I mean, like, I was gonna say, like, if you're in any kind of education type field, so if you're a public school teacher, if you're a teacher in general, if you're in higher education, if you want to be a library manager, you have to get a master's degree.
Mhm,
Yeah.
mhm,
And I
mhm.
mean, I understand, I think, why you have to do that, but it's so expensive.
Yeah.
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 It's ridiculous. And I've heard multiple people say they will never pay off their student loans.
I never will.
Yeah.
I mean,
You're
if
talking
they,
to at least 2 of them.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, if they do away with that public service loan forgiveness, then
Right. Right. I mean, seriously, my kid will be like, "Oh, $70,000. He died when he was 90, and that's what was left." You know?
Exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
okay.
No, absolutely.
yeah.
It's an interesting change, and we could talk about this probably for the whole episode, but
We really could, yeah.
as a parent of a young child, one thing that comes up for me and her mom and our family and all this kind of stuff is like, what are you gonna encourage? Are you gonna encourage college and this kind of thing? and I don't want to turn this into a big Brandon soapbox or anything, but the truth is, at this moment,
If you don't, I will.
well,
Because
unless,
I'm on that topic too.
right, unless things drastically change in the next 16 or 17 years, I am not going to encourage college.
But how can anybody afford it?
Well,
I mean,
that's a
And
huge
the
part of
rates
the
are
problem.
just continuing to just
Right.
dramatically increase.
Right.
I mean, I
Well,
feel
they're
like
cutting
that-
services.
Right.
How?
And if you have a let me tell
How?
you right now, I have a master's degree and 2 bachelor's degrees, and I could not be happier with the work that I do, and that's true. It's also true that I'm buried in debt and will be for I can't see a time when I'm not
Right.
buried under student loan debt. And people with vocations who don't have the debt that I have, who have $0 in student loan debt,
Yeah.
are just as happy as I am with their professions, if not more so, and making more money. Many of them making more money than me.
With
So-
no debt.
Yeah.
With no debt, right? For there you have it.
So what we're
Yeah.
saying is we're tired because we're idiots.
That's what we're saying. Right. I went to
Okay.
school for 22 years, and today I'm
I mean,
tired.
seriously though, we did.
It's the weight of the student loan
It
debt
is.
pressing down
Yeah,
upon
on
us.
my eyelids.
And the soul crushing
The
emptiness
U.S.
that
Department
comes
of
on at 4
Education
a.m.
is pulling my eyelids down. They are my Sandman. Fedloan.org comes into my bedroom every night.
Seriously though. Finish your eyelids down, Brandon.
Right.
No, I'm just a parent of teenagers. That's the reason I don't sleep.
Oh
Because
yeah.
we're coming up very close on this. I mean, these are conversations that we're having,
Yeah, it's
if
around
not
the corner.
daily,
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
having weekly with
Right.
our kids. Of,
Right.
you know, what do you want to do? Where do you want to go? What do you want to do? And then, so we're having those conversations about what do you want to do, but also you don't have to do this.
Yeah.
Mhm.
When we graduated, it was you're going to college,
Yeah, that's what you have.
100%.
and that was what you
There
did.
was no other thing to do. If you don't go
Yeah.
to college, you're, this is just, I'm not saying this because I believe it, I'm saying because it was an attitude that was presented to me for the first 18 years of my life. If you don't go to college, you're a loser.
Yeah,
You're
You're
absolutely.
not
you're gonna fail at life.
Yeah.
You're not gonna
You're
make
not gonna
anything
make
of
any money.
yourself. Right,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
right. And that's absolutely, completely, and totally untrue.
Absolutely.
Verifiable.
Verifiably untrue.
Well, and here's the thing. Like, Lucas and I have had this conversation. Lucas is our silent sound guy. He's in the corner.
He's so cool.
You can see him in the video. He's in the bright orange shirt. You can't miss him.
I
But
do love that you have Mark on one shoulder and me on the other shoulder.
All right. It's like your good and bad
I was
angels.
just going to say that.
Which one's which?
That it probably varies
They
depending
switch,
on the
yeah,
day.
no doubt.
Today I'm the bad one.
No doubt.
But when I graduated from high school, the thing was, you're going to college. We
Yeah.
were doing college fairs and all that stuff
Oh, yeah, dude.
at school, and I brought home some flyers for different community colleges. Because I was considering those as an option, because I was like, I don't know what I want to do with my life. Maybe go there and get some gen ed stuff out of the way while I'm trying to figure it out.
Mhm.
And my mom saw them and said, absolutely not, and threw them in the trash.
Man,
Wow.
It was you're going
which
to a
literally
4-year
everyone
college.
should do that. Everyone should do general ed, like
Yes.
Oh,
community
man,
college.
yeah.
It's
and
so
then-
much less expensive
Yeah.
if you're going to college. And so one of the things that I'm
Mm.
talking about with my kids, my son Alex is determined that he is going to college immediately after high school. And I'm like, if that is what you want to do, then okay,
Sure.
I will support you.
Right.
But you don't have to. In fact, I would encourage you, take a year off
Yeah, man.
and figure out who you are outside of high school.
Yeah.
Work a
And
little
what you
bit,
want to do.
right.
Work.
Work a little bit.
Live at home. Yes, you have to pay rent. But
No doubt,
work
yeah.
and live at home and figure out who you are
Yeah.
outside of school
Yeah.
and what you want to do next. And then I was like, and also you don't have to decide what you want to do with the rest of your life right now.
Right.
I was like, prior
I
to,
changed majors like 3 times.
yeah,
Totally. Right.
yeah.
And then added an extra year onto my
Yeah.
college
Same,
career.
exactly the same for me.
Well, see, and I didn't finish my degree
Mm.
because I hated college. I had undiagnosed ADHD, which did not help.
Oh yeah, it's intense.
I was not in a great relationship, which also did not help.
I had a
And
bunch of
I
those in
just
college.
I didn't know what I wanted to do with anything. And so I dropped out and I never finished. And I'm perfectly happy with that.
Right on. Right
I'm
on.
very, very happy with the life that I live. And
You're
I don't
right.
have a college degree.
You're
And
right.
I'm
But
okay
you
with
don't
that.
have to. And you just
Exactly.
Don't have to.
Right.
I mean,
Exactly.
I don't know if everyone at this age figures that out.
Well, how
like
about
17 years too
Right,
late.
right.
how about you graduate? I graduated college with 2 bachelor's degrees. Now, one of them was a performance arts degree, and
Hey,
so that's
don't minimize that.
well, thank you. Yeah, I appreciate that.
4 degrees.
That's good, right? Exactly. But I, just like everybody else, just like people with high school diplomas, I had to start at the bargain basement. It was $5.15 an hour at that point in time. Hi, everybody. That's when I graduated college. I was old. I am old.
You talk about the minimum wage.
I'm
back in the
older
day?
than you
I
are.
am.
Yeah,
I am.
yeah.
Well, but I'm specifically.
I'm
talking
the
about
oldest
fact-
one here.
I always forget that. It's
Yeah.
not
Lucas, how old are you?
100.
33, I think.
Oh.
You think?
Yeah.
You think?
Lucas
He thinks he's 33.
Lucas is fairly certain of his birth year, everybody. This is, anyway, yeah, so there was no, oh, you graduated college, sir. Here's your extra money, or here's your great
Yeah.
position
Yes.
for your 2 degrees that it's just like, oh no, hey dude, like everybody else, here's the line.
Yeah, get in line.
Wait in it.
Right.
And to even work, become like a middle manager or make a living wage. And this is everybody's story. This is one reason why I feel millennials are changing the game.
I agree.
And doing different things, and so.
Well, and also, I've also seen research that says that our generation was pushed so heavily into getting these 4-year degrees that we've lost trade people and
Oh, yeah.
skilled workers.
Yeah.
These are people that we need to function as a society, and we don't have them because everybody's out there getting 4-year degrees.
Well,
Well, let me tell you, today might be the day that I quit this job.
yep.
And go
You're going to
learn
become
trade.
a trade. Yeah, you're going to become a master electrician, a plumber.
Hey, and they make
A plumber, no. I
No,
couldn't do that.
no.
I don't like
master
gross stuff.
electricians
Okay, okay.
and master tradespeople.
Oh.
They make so much money.
Twice what I make. And I got 2 jobs. Trust me, I know.
This is depressing.
Okay, so let's move on to my super happy
I'm all sitting
topic.
here like,
Oh no, it's true.
like calculating all the debt in my head. But I mean, like, I will say now, I mean, you were saying that young people now are, changing the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, so I went to UK for 5 years, and I had some money. I had like a little bit of, scholarship money coming into it. And I owe, for my undergraduate career, less than what I owe for my 2-year master's degree.
100% me
That's
too.
how
Wow.
much, I mean, though they cost more,
Yeah.
but that's how much
Yeah.
tuition has gone up. Because,
Yeah.
I mean, I waited,
Wow.
Yep.
I guess I waited 6 years between undergraduate and grad.
Mm.
But I believe that a incoming freshman next year will pay in 1 year
Audience, get ready to
My-
vomit.
at a state school,
Prepare your
the
barf
University
bags.
of Kentucky, not, some prestigious university.
Right.
Mhm.
I believe that they will pay in their first year what I owe for my entire undergraduate career.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm sure you're
Yeah,
right.
I do kind of feel sick now.
I'm sure
Yeah.
you're right. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure, for sure.
Because in 2 years, we're looking at that. Well, we'll
Yeah.
be doing that. We'll be
Right.
doing that because he's
Right.
a sophomore now.
I mean, with room
And in 2 years behind that, we'll be doing it again.
with room and board, I
And a
believe
second
that
mortgage
that's
for
accurate.
textbooks.
Yeah, I mean, all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Great Scott, Marty.
Well, I am crushed by stress right now, thinking about
Good night, everybody.
Okay.
It's been
So, it's a super positive episode.
This has been the Nerd Factor depression
This is the
session.
episode where Cece quits.
yes.
Or we make everyone really depressed.
CC quits and learns a trade.
This is the right. I can see you like Castaway, like the next, like we don't see you for like a year.
Michael C. Hall and Dexter. You know how it ends. Where he's just like a midshipman or whatever he is. That's
That's
I mean,
right.
that's probably gonna happen one day. Not
Yeah.
the serial killer.
I
part.
prefer to see.
Wait,
you
wasn't
with
he
the-
like, didn't he go like be a lumberjack?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yes,
yeah.
please
yeah,
go do
yeah.
that. Please go
That's
be a
what I'm
lumberjack.
planning on doing.
I prefer to see you with like
Today.
a beard spearing fish.
I'm just gonna get through the KPLA conference next week, and I'm running a stupid race in Asheville, and you might not see me.
You're just
for
gonna
that.
keep running.
Yeah, just
she
she just kept running. Yes.
I'm kind of tired.
Good lord. Well, speaking of learning a trade,
Oh my lord.
so every night when I go to bed, I have to put on a show to fall asleep because
Yeah.
I'm 5 years old. So now it's Chopped, and like I cannot stop watching Chopped.
To go to
Okay.
sleep?
Yeah.
No, I would not be able to go to sleep watching
It's pretty
Chopped because
intense.
I'd be like,
Well,
I gotta find out how this happens and what are they doing and how can I do that?
I'll get through about 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then like the next night I'll have to go back to where I was.
Mm.
So like it'll take me a few nights to finish one episode.
Yeah.
But like I always think about, And like we've done diced here.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you did it this year,
I did,
right?
yeah.
I did it the first year. It was fun.
Did
Super
you actually
fun.
cook?
I actually
See, that
cooked.
is so cool because like I thought about doing it one time,
Uh-huh.
but I'm not fast.
Mm.
Oh, I'm not either.
Mm.
Like my brain, like I would open the basket and my brain would just be
Boom!
blank. Yeah,
no,
just like
no,
that.
No,
I did not win, I will tell you that.
Okay.
I was like,
So I've I'm guessing in this room I'm the person with the least. It's a competition. This Chopped.
It is.
Right?
So they
this Chopped program on the television set is
It's 4 chefs.
okay.
And they give them a like basket of
Yeah.
assorted foods.
It's like random.
They
right?
don't all make sense, but they can connect in some way.
Okay.
okay.
So
Do you have to use everything?
you have to use everything. If you don't, you probably will get chopped in that round.
Okay.
So they make it. They have half an hour
Yeah.
to create a dish
Right.
out of this totally random stuff, and it's not like, salmon, arugula, nuts. Like it's
Right.
random stuff.
Isn't it? I mean, it's like marshmallow cream and like
Fish.
Fish.
Yeah,
Right. Exactly.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So
It's very Iron Chef.
so they make their dish or whatever, and then this panel of 3 like executive famous chefs judge their food.
Right on. Right on.
So-
That's a great idea. It's a simple
It's fun to watch.
beauty and simplicity.
But like I always think like, to borrow this joke from a loved one, like if they gave me a basket, I would be like,
Lucas
It'd be
didn't
like,
put his
here's-
phone on silent.
Is that what that was?
That's what that was.
He's being
Man,
beamed up though.
Lucas. Like if they gave me a basket of like, I don't know, like you said, fish and marshmallow cream
Peanut butter
and peanut butter
and pepperoni.
and like Cadbury eggs. I'd be
Right.
like, what I have for you today is fish with a side of marshmallow cream
right.
mixed with peanut butter
And a
Cadbury
Cadbury
egg.
for dessert.
I just did not know what to do.
Right.
But yeah, the intense
That was pretty
pressure.
much what I did.
Was it?
That was pretty much
At
what I
Diced?
did, and I was like, okay, well, I ended up with acorn squash, spicy jalapeno ramen noodles,
Ooh.
a thing of nacho cheese, some honey crackers,
22 wintergreen Tic Tacs. And a non-dairy creamer.
and an onion to call back to season
Right.
1.
And a toothpick.
And something else, and I was like, I don't know what to do with this. I ended up actually frying the squash, like breading it and frying it.
Killer. That's
Was it already
And-
cooked? I mean, was it raw? Like,
Yeah, it was raw. It was like
Is
whole.
that
I had
what
to
you say?
I had to chop it up.
Was it a raw squash or was it?
Yes, it was raw squash. And then I was like, I don't know what to do with this, and so I made this and the ramen noodles into like some weird macaroni and cheese. It was not good.
All right.
It was not
It
good.
doesn't sound bad though.
No.
But, I mean, it was not good. And I was like, oh crap, I forgot to use these stick things. I was like, here, shoved them into the macaroni and cheese. I was like, here we go.
So I have an
It's for
opinion
presentation.
about this, and a lot of like what I'm gonna call like higher level, like fancy cooking. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Okay, so it's hard.
Wait,
And-
what was it again?
Fancy cooking.
Fancy cooking.
With air quotes.
Right.
Fancy
Fancy.
cooking.
As you can
cooking.
see.
Hello everyone. I'm trying to do my one hand fancy clapping. Anyway,
Wow.
yeah, it's a throwback.
Throwback, yeah.
So like, I don't quite know how to articulate this idea. There seems to be like a level of cooking where things just get bonkers. So what I mean by that is if you turn on the Food Network, people are making like cream fraiche with a side of like this exotic saffron soaked grape leaf that was in the Mediterranean Sea for the
Yes.
past 40 years. I just want a
That's
slice
exactly
of pizza. All right. But so what I mean is when things get this crazy, when you have these ingredients that are so random, you can't just make a slice of pizza. You have to make like this crazy designer. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
No, yeah, I get it.
And I get that, like, in the culture of in food culture, like they're like refined people who are like, I'll eat your grape leaf from 1942 that was soaked in the Mediterranean Sea with the cream fraiche from the cow's udders from the top of the mountain. You know what I mean?
Because those are only the best.
Right,
Yes.
right.
Only
But I'm
the
not.
best.
I guess I'm just like not refined or something.
I mean, I love a good meal for sure.
Yeah.
for sure.
I mean, I'll eat weird stuff.
But all that fancy weird stuff just weirds me out. You know?
I mean, if somebody wants to make it for me, I'll eat it,
Okay.
sure.
Yeah, that's about how I
But
feel
for
too.
me, when it comes down to my cooking, I mean, I do have saffron. I do have some of these more exotic ingredients. I found it at Jungle Gyms up in Cincinnati.
If you have saffron, you're not allowed to complain about your income.
It was $9 for
That's
this
all I have to
this
say.
little thing.
If you own Saffron in your house, it's,
Okay.
I have too much student loan debt. I can't.
I can't
sell
afford
my
any-
house.
I have to be
Well,
honest.
see, I
when
didn't
see-
graduate now, nor do I have a master's.
When
so,
I see Saffron
you know,
in
I'm
the grocery
okay.
store, I think about
Oh my
my
God,
student loan
it's
debt. I'm
Right?
like,
So,
I wish
well,
I could have that Saffron.
It'd be real cool if I could buy that Saffron.
But I owe Fed loan this month.
That's what Fed loan comes in and tells you at night.
I know Saffron for you, Brandon Thompson.
Wouldn't it be nice if you could buy that Saffron, Brandon?
Sure would be
But
nice.
you can't because you owe us monies.
Brandon, please, broken Brandon.
That's really.
The ghost of Fed loan services.
Yeah, they're like, you can't have Saffron.
It just like dangles saffron in front of
Yeah,
you.
yeah, no, and I'm like crying, and I'm like, but I really want some. I put it in my rice. No, not for 50 more years.
You're counting spices in your sleep. Spices and exotic grape leaves.
I'm trying to hit the lottery just so I can make me a little saffron rice.
Right?
Yeah, I'm going down doing my
We
scratch
don't
off
ask for
every
much,
day.
okay? Forgive our student debt because we want to make saffron rice. That's it.
I mean, really.
That's literally it.
That's
Oh my god.
that's all I want for my life, you guys. My child deserves saffron rice, but I can't make it for her
That's a sign.
because I got a
That's
master's
fine.
degree.
If you ever have to protest anything,
My
just say,
child
my child deserves saffron
I
rice.
can't afford it
Oh my god, it hurts.
because of
I can't afford it.
the upper 1% is keeping me away from my saffron, keeping my child away from her
I hope
saffron
that
rice.
CNN interviews you at this protest.
And I'm really mad about it. I'm like, this is ridiculous. I'm like, really?
Saffron rights for all.
Like,
Oh
yeah.
my god.
This child. We go to Whole Foods every morning.
If you go to Whole Foods every morning, you also cannot complain about your
That's
income.
true, that's true, that's true. We can't afford this. The good rice. Okay. That's
God.
Oh my god, well that hurts.
Well, I mean, along those lines, the one thing about Chopped that I can't enjoy
Oh yeah, we were talking about chops.
is the fact that they waste so much food.
There is
Oh,
always.
Like, I
Yeah.
just wonder, because like they give every judge a plate and they don't eat the entire thing.
No, they take like a
obviously.
little
Yeah.
tiny, like a little frou-frou nibble, like a little.
nibble.
Well, I got all
Demonstrate,
of the
since we have a
flavors.
video,
A
demonstrate.
It looks
Ew,
like this.
no, I
It looks
don't
like it looks like a raisin and 2 oat flakes, and then they
Well,
say,
you have to get the.
Oh, gross.
I'm so glad that no one can see that because
Yeah,
you know it's your profile that they can see.
And then they're like, well, I got the entire bouquet of the whole thing. And then I get mad because I'm like, what are you watching your figure for television? Eat the salmon soaked marshmallow green. Just eat it.
Peanut butter.
Okay.
Wow.
This is a topic, Cece. I'm glad you brought up chop.
I do want to ask before we move on though, how did you do diced? Because you did it at McCready.
We
this
did it
year,
at McCready Manor.
which is
yeah.
a retirement
yeah.
It is.
community.
It's a great retirement community in Richmond. The community there is awesome, and they're very active, and they love fun programs. We did, and you know the truth is, most of this credit goes to Ruthie. Ruthie, our library director, was the mastermind. I was kind of just
At the Madison County Public Library in
That's
Richmond,
right.
Kentucky.
I was kind of just a support. I mean, I did a lot of the footwork, but anyway, we did a chocolate dipped. It was a Valentine's Day theme, right?
Mhm.
So, dude, they had a smorgasbord of all kinds of dippables that they could. I mean, literally like 25. Ruthie brought like chips and fruits and savories and sweets. I'm trying to think now of like what the most.
Some of those ingredients, because she had,
Jalapeno
we messed around with it
Cheetos.
beforehand,
Yeah.
trying to make some and see if it would work.
Right.
And some of those ingredients went
Dude.
really well
Jalapeno
together.
I
Cheetos
would
with
100% eat that.
It was
Yeah,
awesome.
it was actually
It was super good,
amazing.
yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna have to leave the room because I'm
Right.
just like jalapeno
Right.
Cheeto
Right, no,
chocolate.
for sure,
I'm just
for
gonna
sure.
sit here and eat this.
And,
Y'all are good.
So the residents then put them in little cups. They kind of created their own concoction. I mean, the number of combinations was like,
Sure.
limitless almost. And our celebrity judge, among our celebrity judges, I would say, was the mayor. Mayor Jim Barnes was one of our celebrity judges. So it was a ton of really good. It was a super good program.
Good,
Yeah.
good.
A lot of fun.
You know those little snack bags of chips that you can buy? Like
Mhm.
the big 24 pack?
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Do you know that there's a Flamin' Hot 24 pack of snack bags of chips?
Does it have
where
the
Like
everything
different-
is in the
Oh.
Flamin' Hot Cheetos, like dust, I guess you would call it.
Flavor dust.
You know what I like
Like
to
you
do
can
with
get
that?
Flamin'
Cheese
Hot
powder?
Funyuns.
No, really?
What?
For
Yes.
real? I would
It's in
eat
that-
that.
it's in that.
I am just imagining how
Why?
kicking your breath would be after that.
Oh,
I mean,
just
Funyuns are
gnarly,
bad
man.
enough.
Yeah, right. Oh.
Man.
I would like to.
Well, when you can't have saffron in your house.
Well,
Get your flaming
you know
hot
what?
Funyuns, man.
Funyuns.
Flaming Funyun house.
Fair point. I was in a show a couple years ago where I had to kiss two different people during the show, and one day I forgot to bring my lunch, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna go over to the gas station next door and see what I can get. Well, I ended up with Slim Jim and
Just a little
Funyuns.
jar of garlic, just like
Just Slim Jim and Funyuns,
Jar.
and I texted both of them and I was like, hey guys, I just ate Slim Jim and Funyuns and don't have a toothbrush. And they're like, I like jerky. I was like, you're gross.
The jar of garlic that you just drink.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
You
Just drink the juice.
Yeah, for sure.
This is the episode where we grow CC out.
Yeah. I like to take Cheetos and Flamin' Hot Cheetos in the food processor and process it to dust, and then bread a pork chop.
Okay,
with
that is good.
amazing.
That is
You
good.
can be
I've
on
done
Chopped.
that.
I know,
See?
it could be, it's true.
So yeah.
Cream fraiche.
The South Park
Cream fraiche.
Yes,
episode.
that's where that comes
Cream
from.
fraiche.
Oh my lord.
Chili. Okay.
Well, Brandon, do you want to go next, or should I go with my extremely happy topic?
Match for it. 1, 2, 3, shoot.
All right. All
Shoot.
right.
That means shoot on 4.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
ready? 1, 2, 3,
3.
shoot.
Dang it, you win.
All right, cool. Well, so that was fun. I want to talk about Star Wars.
No way.
Big surprise. Yeah. So The Last Jedi came out. Since
A while back.
Yeah, a while back. Since last we met.
Mhm. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was not.
Since I know. Since last we recorded and.
Well, since last season.
Right.
Because
Right.
we
Right.
We
recorded
did meet on Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Right. Oh, that's true. Sorry.
I know you're tired.
Yeah, pretty tired. So I'm looking here real quick. Let's see if this will, if I'll be able to even find what I'm looking for right now. I guess I'm not. Okay. So I had a lot of thoughts about The Last Jedi, and as you guys may know, as our listeners may know, it was like super divisive. Like you
It
know what I mean?
was.
Yeah.
I've never like. I'm actually, the truth is, I'm a little disappointed in Star Wars fans, and I'm
Yeah,
the guy who was like
yeah.
JarJarMustDie.com. Like I was very extreme about the prequels, and I'm still like very disappointed. People were, I mean, they were like mailing death threats to Rian Johnson, the director, and like a bunch of just like super
Yeah.
gross, not okay.
Why?
Well, so good question. You don't know? You honestly don't know why?
Okay.
What?
I haven't seen it.
You haven't
Ah.
seen it?
I
Okay,
know,
yeah,
I
yeah.
know.
You have homework.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm the worst at doing anything.
Yeah.
Anything.
You're the worst doer of things.
Because
Cece.
all I do is work.
So
You
she
got
pay off the
Saffron.
student.
You got
I have
Saffron.
to work, and I have almost cussed like 7 times. In this episode. That's how tired I am. All I do is
Wow.
work and run. I don't have time for anything.
Cece's got like pictures of Saffron like all over her house. Like, I'm gonna get you one day. They're like
Goals.
inspirational.
Hashtag goals.
Like some people have like Mother Teresa little shrines. Cece's got Saffron.
Hashtag Saffron
Yeah,
goals.
dude,
That's
right.
right.
Yeah. So
Sorry.
why was why was The Last Jedi divisive? I
Is
think,
it divisive or divisive?
Oh, I don't
I've always
know.
said it divisive.
Divisive or divisive?
Look it up.
I've always said it divisive because
Maybe.
it's like,
It was a dividing force among fans.
there we go, there we go.
I mean, at the
It's
end
like,
of
honestly, I don't know that I've ever heard it. I think I've only ever seen it in text.
right, yeah.
So I don't know.
I've always said divisive, but
I'm
yeah.
looking it up right now.
Okay.
Cool, sweet. At the end of the day, I think it was because the story that they told was not the story that fans wanted. And
Yeah.
I mean, the reason I want to talk about it is like, I'm at the front of that bus. Like, the story that they told, especially about Luke Skywalker.
Mhm.
Divisive.
Divisive? Oh, no. Oh, no.
I've heard it both ways, though.
Yeah. Divisive.
It's like GIF and GIF.
Oh.
Let's have that argument.
That should be the next thing we talk about. Yeah.
I think we did last season.
Did we?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I said I refuse and I'm just going to call it a GIF anyway.
I'm
Because
curious. What do you call it, Lucas?
It is a gift.
It is a gift! Look
call it a
right
gift.
there! Ha-ha! Thank you. Me too, right? Okay. So, the story that they told, especially about Luke Skywalker, I think, is not the story that they wanted. And as I mentioned, I'm at the front of that bus because, here's why. I grew up with Luke Skywalker,
okay.
right? As so many of
Like
us
you in
did.
It's like people of our generation
He
generally
calls me
did.
at home, and like we
Yeah,
snuck
yeah.
and we got into my parents' liquor cabinet when we were 11 together, me and Luke. He
It's a very bad
he
influence on you.
force levitated the lock off the liquor cabinet. It was great. Yeah, he helped me get into trouble. So we smoked cigarettes in the boys' room, Luke and me. he's the hero of my life. Like
Clearly.
he's like the
You have
He's
a lot
like-
of experiences.
the archetypal hero's journey. I projected all of my stuff onto this character. Like everybody has theirs, you know. It's different for everybody, but and so then after the trilogy ended, there's like this huge. I probably have talked about this on the podcast before. There's this just massive body of books.
Yes.
That's called the Star Wars Expanded Universe.
Mhm.
It's recently been retconned into the Star Wars Legends saga by Disney when Disney bought Star Wars. Anyway, Luke Skywalker is the coolest character, and I have just for a second. Let me share with you guys a little bit about Luke Skywalker post Return of the Jedi. And for those of you who don't know, Return of the Jedi is the last movie in George Lucas's original trilogy.
Right.
Luke Skywalker, first of all, it destroyed the first Death Star in
Mhm.
Episode 4, A New Hope. Right. This is when he came into his own. We're all on the hero's journey with Luke. Then in Return of the Jedi, he redeemed his father, Darth Vader, just kind of through sheer force of like his perseverance and his love as Vader's son. And that's when kind of the common moviegoer, that's what we know about Luke, right?
Mhm.
If you're an unacceptable nerd like me, who spent his high school years in the marching band with braces and reading Star Wars books.
Hey, don't diminish the importance of that either.
Thank you. I wasn't for other people, just for myself. Luke Skywalker started a Jedi Academy, where he really came into his own.
Now, is this from the books?
This is all from the books. Right?
Okay.
But this is
I've not read any of the books.
Totally, but this is a journey that we got to follow as children or as young adults with Luke Skywalker. We got to watch him struggle and go through his own challenges and create and kind of rise to become like a Jedi Master and an amazing teacher and also a really powerful and just awesome Jedi with great, it's like flying all over the place, and you couldn't touch him, you couldn't beat him. He was awesome, right? Grand Admiral Thrawn Crisis, Timothy Zahn's Heir to the Empire is arguably the most well-known, most widely read Star Wars novel. He played a huge role in that. He redeemed another person, Mara Jade Skywalker, the hand of the Emperor, and married her. And then they had a son named Ben Skywalker, who was the second most awesome Jedi in the galaxy, right? And the list goes on and on and on. I could tell you, I could go on about how awesome Luke Skywalker is. And then the new trilogy happens. J.J. Abrams and Rian Johnson. And they reduce Luke Skywalker, in the eyes of some people, including me myself, to like a coward who he tried to have a Jedi Academy. They kept that piece from the expanded universe, right?
Right.
He tried to be a teacher. It tanked real fast because he screwed it up. And then he tucked tail and ran away and put himself in exile for quite literally the rest of his life. So people are upset that they didn't get their Jedi gangsta, awesome Luke Skywalker. Thank you everybody for bearing with me on
So they're upset that he's flawed? I mean, is that what it boils down to?
So, yes, and thank you for saying that, Cece, because that's what I pretty quickly came to accept and embrace, right? So this is not the Luke Skywalker story. Star Wars The Last Jedi, this most recent movie that we're talking about today.
Right.
It's not the Luke Skywalker story that I wanted at all. But for what it was tremendously beautiful. He did screw up at the Jedi Academy. He tried to redeem a student, the Kylo Ren character, Ben Solo, and he failed, kind of miserably, right?
Yeah.
And instead of kind of what I and many other fans would hope, instead of picking himself back up and trying again, he went to Octo, an island in some corner of the galaxy, and there he stayed. Because he lost faith in the Jedi ways, because he was broken, because he was sad. And, I'm almost done.
You're fine, keep going.
Yeah, thanks. And at the I'm going to say the climaxual point. Is it climaxual a word?
I don't think so. We can go with it.
So, thanks.
Sure.
And one of the climaxual points in The Last
Actually, I
Jedi.
don't know if you should go with
It's
it.
climactic.
Right.
It's
Essentially
climactic.
Right, it is climactic.
I was like, the word is actually climactic, but go for
You need to
it.
be my grammar police. You just need to follow me around and be like, Brandon, the word is not impact.
Climactual.
Listen,
You know what? I just want to be like, all right, we're just going to write a Brandon dictionary, and we're just going to be climactual, divisive.
well, this is pretty funny. In my master's thesis, we've been speaking a lot about our education today. In my master's
It's like,
thesis,
and I'm the one who doesn't have a degree,
Well, okay. In my master's thesis, I used the word.
but I am a librarian.
I used a word more than once, in fact a few times, that isn't actually a word, that somebody, a friend like yourself, April, pointed out to me many years later. Listen, it passed my thesis defense, it passed a whole committee, nobody
What
caught
is
it, but
it?
it's not a dictionary word. I
What is
used the word impactual.
Oh.
The word is impacting.
I was like, please don't say conversate. Because then I really won't get it. Quit.
Yeah, to demonstrate the impact of something, I said impactual. Oh, that little thing right there was very impactual on this
What do you
thing.
mean impactful?
Impactful or impacting.
Yeah.
Impactual is Family Feud, Red X, not a word. Anyway,
You are correct.
thank you. So, at this climaxual moment,
Maybe they didn't know, and they were like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna give them the benefit of the doubt because I don't."
I guess
don't
I got
Well,
the
they
word.
were like, man, that's sad.
It's like, oh,
Just get this guy out of here.
let's
Look
just
at the
pass
state of
him
mind.
and just get him out.
So we were sick and tired of hearing him talk for an hour about Luke Skywalker. Go! Yoda appears to Luke Skywalker, his old teacher. And I'm telling you guys, in the theater, like, I got choked up, like,
Yeah, I did love it when Yoda
oh my
reappeared.
God, I got choked up. Here's why, for so many reasons. First of all, they did the puppet Yoda, so it wasn't the prequels CGI bouncing off the walls and fighting Count Dooku like cartoon
Yeah.
Yoda. It was a little rascally puppet Yoda. It's the Yoda that Luke would remember, right?
Right.
Because it was the Yoda that he had contact with in the original trilogy. And here's what Yoda says to Luke. Luke is hopeless. He says to Yoda, like, I can't be this girl's teacher, Rey, the kind of protagonist of the movie. And Yoda says, heeded my words not, did you? Pass on what you have learned. Strength, mastery, yes, but weakness, folly, failure also. Yes, failure most of all. The greatest teacher failure is. Luke, we are what they grow beyond. That is the true burden of masters. I'm getting cold chills just talking.
Yeah, I mean, that's-
it's
yeah.
profound.
It
It's
is really profound. Yeah.
And so it wasn't hard for me to accept that Luke, as you say, Cece, he was flawed. He was scared. He was, you know, in exile. Blah blah blah. And so then his final lesson was a lesson about failure. And how is that not? I just think that's so beautiful. Like I spend half of my time like being sad about my failures. You know what I mean? I think many of us do. Oh, I didn't do that right, or oh, if I had made this different choice, right? But the greatest teacher failure is, I don't know, it's just a profound
Well,
message.
like, not being afraid to fail is such a difficult lesson to learn.
Isn't
I mean,
it?
that's something,
Right.
that's part of my job, I feel like, is, you know, basically mentoring staff to be like, hey, it's okay.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
you can try something, and it doesn't work out, and it doesn't mean that, like, that's the worst thing that's ever happened.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
and
it's
doesn't
not going to mean you're fired right now.
Right.
It didn't work. You have one
Right.
program that didn't work. Oh, bad. You're
Right.
fired.
Right.
No.
Right.
Because if you can't embrace that you're going to fail sometimes, you'll never try anything.
There it is.
Yeah.
I mean,
Agreed.
we could talk about the benefits of failure forever and ever and ever. Like,
Oh,
I think
absolutely.
it's a really beautiful, poetic, like it's a human thing. It is in fact how we grow. And I think, and now I'm sorry to soapbox, but I think it's like part of the reason that we're all here to fail and to fall and rise and fall again. And so, all you Last Jedi haters out there, like I get that the movie wasn't perfect. The second act, when they went to the casino planet, I'm blanking on the name right now, Canto Bight, was dumb, really dumb. I get
I
it.
felt it was unnecessary.
So dumb. Okay,
It just was unnecessary.
I couldn't agree more. The final thing I'd like to say about the movie is not about Luke Skywalker. The message, and this is a huge spoiler, I guess I should have said this earlier. Lucas, we're going to cut you in and be like, don't listen to Brandon. At the end of the movie.
That's at the very beginning
Right.
of the episode.
At the end of the movie there, and sprinkled all throughout the movie, there are these undertones of you don't have to be a Skywalker or a Solo. You don't have to be born into some privileged bloodline to be a Jedi, to be powerful in this universe. Because at the very end of the movie, like the last scene, there's a little
The
slave
little boy. Oh my God.
He's
yes.
a slave on an outcast world.
On the casino world.
On the casino, on Canto Bight, that's right. And he's like flogged by his masters and just abused. And he walks outside to sweep the floor, and he pulls the broom to him. It's a subtle little moment with using the Force.
Yeah.
And then he looks up at the sky, and man, so the message was, we all have this inherent divinity. We all have this inherent power. You don't have to be born with a silver spoon in your mouth. You don't have to be born into privilege to actualize whatever this beautiful thing that you are. And I thought about my kid. I have a 1.5-year-old daughter. I don't want her to think, like I did. I thought I had to be a Skywalker. I thought,
Mm-hmm.
it's cool to like look up to Luke Skywalker, but I'll never be Luke Skywalker.
Mm-hmm.
My kid is going to grow up believing that she can be. You know what I mean? I think it's
Yeah.
so good. So, everybody, The Last Jedi. It's not that bad. Get over it.
My only issue, I enjoyed it, but my only issues had far less to do with the story. The story was fine, but oh my god, how many shots of Mark Hamill on the verge of tears do we need?
He had to cry a lot.
Yeah,
A lot.
seriously.
Yeah. For this
Seriously,
story.
and it felt, and I don't know if it was an acting choice or if it was a direction that he was given. I don't
wonder too.
know,
Yeah.
but it felt so much like they were trying too hard to be funny.
Yep. Yep.
You know, something we struggle with sometimes.
Not me, never.
Never, no.
No.
Um,
Saffron rice. Ha ha ha.
but it was like they were just trying too hard. I mean, I know that he has had a massive career as a voice actor outside of the Star Wars realm.
Yeah.
And so I felt like vocally, his acting was on point. I felt like if I shut my eyes and listened to him say the lines, that I would get the tone, the intent, and
Yeah.
everything behind the
That was
lines.
very beautiful. Yeah, I agree.
But if I'm watching it, I'm distracted by that glimmer of tear that's just on the
pretty much
verge and that
always-
quivering lip that's
Yeah.
just standing there as he stares pensively into the distance.
You
But it
really-
never drops.
You really have described most of his scenes.
Yeah, I
Yes!
can see his
It's true.
face right
It's,
now.
Yes!
It's, yeah, in all of the marketing material, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, so I was just like, and that was really, I mean, there were things that I felt were unnecessary, but that, you know what, I'm not like making movies, I'm not going to be
Right.
too judgmental, but
Right.
at the same time, I was like, okay, seriously,
Right.
we don't need another scene like this.
That's the quivering lip.
Yes, the quivering lip is the
Oh.
part that killed me. The tear on the verge of dropping, okay, I'll give you that, but the quivering lip, I was like, that's just too much. Too much. So, anyway. Alright.
What you got for us, ma'am?
Oh, I've got this super, super fun topic.
Can't
Cool.
wait.
The meaning of family and death traditions in America. Woohoo!
What? You're
Sorry,
talking
that was
about
really loud.
What are you talking about? Like,
Funerals?
yeah.
Like funerals and the burial process and all of that stuff specifically in America. Because we have this very commercialized everything. But we have this very commercialized system, especially for births, weddings, and funerals.
We do.
And it's incredibly
It's an
commercialized.
industry.
I mean, how many
Yeah.
baby showers does one person need?
18.
Apparently.
18.
Apparently.
And they all have
and-
to go on Facebook, have their own individual Facebook album.
Absolutely. They all have their own event. They all have their
It's
own
like the
photo
whole,
album.
like, gender reveal thing.
Yeah.
Like, when you had a kid, did you do that?
No.
I mean, like, that's such a new thing, I feel like.
It is. And then there's like, oh, well, so then there's the gender reveal party, which you get presents at. Then there's the baby shower.
Right.
Then there's the post-birth party. And then there's the one with the placenta. And there's like, I'm just like, oh my
Post-birth
God.
party.
What
The
is
one
this?
with the placenta.
That's the name of the episode.
I would like to.
Like all the Friends episodes.
The one with the placenta. I think that's how I'm going to entitle these episodes for this season.
That's a
It's
great
the
idea.
one with
the one
the.
with the. That's actually really funny.
I like that. We're gonna do that.
Right.
That's what we're gonna do. But so I mean that's incredibly commercialized. And then weddings. Oh my gosh! The moment
Yeah.
you mention the word wedding, then everything automatically gets marked up just 100%.
Whenever you say the word wedding, you're actually charged
It's true.
$10 every time you say it.
I don't make enough money for that.
Take back that stuff.
So
I'm
no.
gonna have to take back my
You're
saffron.
gonna have to sell your saffron now.
Ah.
Craigslist.
And so then when you've got funerals and the death process, I mean, on top of that, it's an incredibly invasive process.
Yeah.
And it's not environmentally friendly, and there's all of that stuff going on. But then on top of that, you've got these grieving families who are trying to bury their loved one while grieving, and then you've got, oh well, you have to buy the burial plot, and then you
Right.
have to buy the casket,
And the
and you know,
vault.
and then the vault to
Yeah,
put the
right.
casket in,
Right.
and then of course, your body is filled with chemicals so that it doesn't decompose. It's supposed to decompose. I'm sorry. So I have this thing.
That's a symptom of fear of death, right there. Like
It
this big
absolutely is.
collective
I'm not
human-
afraid of dying. I don't want to die anytime soon.
Sure.
But I'm not afraid of dying.
Right.
What I'm afraid of is being stuck in a box forever.
Mm.
Even though I know I know I won't be there.
Right.
I'm an organ donor. I'm like, take everything you need.
Mhm.
Take everything you need, and then take the rest of it, and then we'll figure out what to do with it
Well,
from
we
there.
have this lady's toenails here in a Ziploc
Hey, if
bag.
you need my toenails, take my toenails. I don't need them.
Ew.
So, I don't know why you would, but okay. But seriously, take what you need. I don't need it anymore. But I still cannot wrap my head. The thought of a casket just absolutely sickens me.
I
Like,
think we just
ugh.
got a book, or maybe
We have something up
it
in
was something
Richmond that I
about
saw.
like environmental burials
Yes.
or whatever,
Oh,
Yes.
cool.
and how that's like the new thing.
Yeah. Oh, and
Because-
I am on board.
Yeah.
I am on board.
And I swear the cover of this book, and maybe I'm making it up, it's like a bag. It's like a biodegradable bag,
Okay.
and they just like put it in the ground with a body in
Well,
it.
you're,
I'm
what?
Not
Would you, wait,
opposed to that.
buy this book, get a free body bag? Is that what you just
Actually,
said?
yes, the book that we have has a bag in it. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Dibs.
Shotty's on the body
April's all
bag.
putting it on hold right now.
Putting it on
That's
hold
right.
right now. Let me get my phone. But so then my next option was I was like I cannot even fathom the idea of being buried.
Yeah.
And so then my next thought was, okay, cremation. Because at the time that like when I first started thinking about all of this, and what do I want for myself, which you should have these conversations with your loved ones because you never know what's going to happen.
No doubt.
It's morbid
Sure.
and
but-
uncomfortable. Actually, at my house, it's just weird because I have these other things that I will get to. My kids are the ones who find it the least funny. My husband finds it hilarious. But my current wish for my remains. And so then my next thought was cremation. I can't even begin to fathom the idea of cremation either. So I'm like, I've got to do something else. I was like, just leave me out in a field.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I'm like, so then I discovered that there's a body farm in Knoxville
What?
where people can donate their bodies to science, and
I'm really
specifically
afraid
to
of
this
this
body
place.
farm. And it's very discreet. It's actually very well hidden. And they actually they study entomology, and I did say correctly. And they use it for forensics and that sort of thing for the way that bodies decay in specific times. And so you're able to, when you come across a crime scene as a crime scene investigator, you're able to say, oh, well, this body has been here since this long.
I feel like
because
I've
this is when-
seen like a documentary about this
Yeah.
place or a similar
Yeah,
place.
yeah. There's more than one in the
It's-
country, but
It's when
so I was
read
like, that's what I want.
bodies at some point in time, human bodies at some stage of decay.
Mhm.
I know, become like, is this true? Like soap?
Oh my god,
Do you guys
this
know
is too
this?
much.
So
Somebody's gonna have to, Josh Garrett, you're gonna have to Google that.
You mean soap?
So
like you mean like the fat in our bodies, like
Ah.
why?
It turns into like soap. That's all I know.
I
Really.
feel like
I'm not making it up. I might be
I think we're gonna have to look into
I might
this.
be incomplete in what I understand.
So,
in fact,
I
that's
feel like you
probably
may
true.
have discussed this late at night on a college campus.
With Luke Skywalker,
With
you know,
Luke,
when
yeah,
you're
Luke and I. Right
Rrr.
on.
So I was like, well, this is what I want. I want this body farm. Well, then I discovered, I realized that peat bogs
Who's that?
are
Sorry.
are
bogs.
very, very good.
He's a picture from Nets.
PEAT, PEAT, BOGS, 1G.
It's his name.
They're great for preserving bodies. So it's like they naturally mummify you.
Like, do you put you in the backyard on a peat bog?
Yes! That is what I want. So then my husband sends me, because his family is Scottish, and so he sends me this link where if you donate so much money, they'll give you a 1 foot by 1 foot square of land in Scotland. And I was like, I wonder if they have a peat bog, because I'm totally buying my 1 foot by 1 foot square, and that's where he's
about 1
gonna.
foot though
Yeah,
for human body.
I'll just have vertical.
They're gonna stick you on a stick like a scarecrow
Gross! My God,
in
the
a peat
images.
bog in Scotland.
Okay, so incentive to watch the video. This is what I have been demonstrating to my family as how I plan to be, preserved. As like they're gonna have to, no, preserved. I'm not gonna be preserved, but they're gonna have to come. They're gonna have to come and visit me, and I'm just like, you need to have a tree side service. There's my body.
Where you are the tree.
Oh, this
That's horrifying.
This is
So-
messed
So, like
up.
I said, my husband finds it much funnier than my children do. My children do not find it at all funny. They're like, "You're so weird, Mom. I don't even understand."
What does Pete Boggs have to say about all this? I'm so sorry.
So, well, and the reason I bring all of this up, a friend of mine, I had mentioned in the last episode that I was going to talk about family, and I'm still going to talk about that a little bit, but more, I'm going to come back to that at a later time. A friend of mine who is family, her mother passed away recently, and so we just got the notice yesterday of the date for her memorial service, and I've been asked to sing with some friends, and so we're thinking about that, and we're talking about that. And also the death, the death ritual, the burial ritual here in America has really been on my mind. Not necessarily dealing with my own mortality, but just like trying to plan ahead and figure out what I want.
Sure.
And because you never know. And so, so that's all been very much in the forefront of my mind, which is why I'm actually talking about this today. So I've actually, my husband and I have been joking around that the possibility that if I do somehow manage to have my remains sunk into a peat bog, that they have to dress me in a costume, an authentic costume of some different culture that is not in any way detrimental, but just going to be really confusing to somebody in 100 years.
Viking.
Well, I was thinking Viking, and actually, my birth father's family is from Norway.
Viking.
So I am actually a Viking.
No doubt.
I'm thinking more like a 1990s hipster culture.
Nice,
Well, see, what I was thinking was like, if I had like an ancient Roman toga, like really authentic, no polyester, like linen, a Roman toga, but the body's only been there for 100 years. But she's like 97 years old or something. And then, so in 100 years, somebody would be really confused.
Yeah.
No
It's like,
doubt.
this person died at 97, and they've only been here for 100 years,
We're talking about that.
but they've got ancient Roman artifacts with them or something
Right.
like
I
that.
think
Right.
that peat is like
Yeah,
the way to go.
yeah. So that's really what I'm wanting. I'm like, that's
Okay.
where I'm at right now.
I am interested in the death and burial rituals of other cultures.
Yes.
And I don't know. I honestly don't know.
I don't
much.
know nearly enough.
Yeah, neither do I. I don't have a diverse knowledge, but knowledge that I do have is about Tibetan Buddhist culture and what they do. You guys all you are familiar with the charnel grounds? The idea of
I am not.
charnel grounds. Well, they have beautiful death rites.
Please,
that
tell me more.
Yeah. The death rites are beautiful, and I won't talk too much about that because it's beautiful but boring. And it involves the wheel of life and reincarnation and stuff. But after the death rites, in many but not all, so they also do cremations for sure.
Okay.
But in some Tibetan cultures, they send the body to what's called the charnel grounds, which is, a few miles outside of the village, oftentimes up on a mountain or a peak, where they just lay the bodies in the sun. It's not a burial. They just put the bodies there to be eaten by animals and picked apart by birds. It's kind of a very natural.
Okay, that does not sound as appealing.
No.
So the other piece to this is young monk initiates, as part of their training, are to go sit in the charnel grounds, especially overnight, many nights, and
Keep the animals
meditate
away?
and practice. No,
Oh.
to let what happens, to gain an appreciation for mortality. The idea is we're all going to die.
Okay, now I do like that.
And this is what happens when you die, so this is how precious life is, do you know what I mean? The human body is just a vessel, this kind of whole idea. I think it's terrifying, gruesome, and amazing.
Yeah.
All of the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I find that far less terrifying than being stuck in a box.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, me too.
But that's the thing, though. Like, the human body is... You're supposed to decay. And they pump you full of these chemicals to prevent you from decaying.
Well, because they have to
It's just...
show you at the funeral.
Right.
Meh.
I know. So.
That's why, like I said, tree-side service.
So you don't become so, I'm telling you guys something about soap, I promise.
Lincoln in the Bardo, have you all read that book?
I listened to
Oh
it,
my
yeah.
God, it's so good.
No.
It reminds me of all this.
I think that it would be better... I listened to it, and it was really cool because it had a full cast.
Yeah. When they're like 56
Yeah.
voices or something.
Yeah. And
There's a lot of
and it
people
was-
in the book.
But it was very confusing.
I'm sure that it was.
It was very confusing because I was like, what is... who was that?
It took me a minute just reading the book, and like
Mhm.
it says who is saying it at the
Yeah.
end of it. But the point of the reason why I brought it up is it's kind of this idea of, you know, what happens after you die,
Yeah.
I guess. But speaking of someone in a box, like Lincoln, so it's when Lincoln's son dies.
Yeah.
And he's kind of like stuck in a, not purgatory, but that's kind of what it is.
Yeah, I mean-
because they're dead, but they're not quite
They haven't moved on.
settled.
Yeah.
But like Lincoln himself will come to the cemetery and get Willie out of the box and like hold him.
Mhm.
And Willie is
So it's
just
like, it's like later the same day that he was
Yeah,
born.
Yeah,
It's not like 3 days later,
Right.
a week
No,
later,
yeah. A
6
year.
months
Right,
later,
sure,
you
sure.
know.
right.
Hmm.
But what does he call it? He calls it like
Sick box.
sick box.
Yeah, they're called their sick boxes.
Yeah. But there's zero connection between Willie the soul, the ghost,
Sure,
or
sure,
whatever
sure,
you
yeah,
call
right.
him, and the whatever in the sick box.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So the word is adipocer. Let's see, I can't pronounce. Adipocere. ADIPOCERE. Also known as corpse wax, grave wax, or mortuary wax.
Oh, you're
is
talking
a
about the
wax-like
soap thing?
Organic substance formed by anaerobic bacterial hydrolysis of fat tissue. Yes, this is soap.
Listen, I don't like gross stuff.
It's a real thing.
So, okay.
That's all.
Cool.
Yeah, can't pronounce it.
Cool.
And on that note,
Yeah, so, well, the other thing about the peat bog was that I was like, Tom, you have to do it with me.
well, yeah.
And he was like,
Together
what?
forever.
And I said, no, you have to do it with me.
You took
I said,
a vow.
and then, I said, and then I also need to make a will that says that every single one of my descendants have to do it too, but they have to wear something from a different culture. So in 100 years, when somebody finds this,
Whoa.
they're gonna be real confused.
Whoa. People would pilgrimage to see like
Right,
the Viking
right.
and like
And well, and
the
they were, I was like,
ninja.
he was like, well, I want someplace to come and visit, because the prevailing theory at our house is that he's gonna outlive me for some reason.
Mm.
I'm not sure why. Probably my driving.
Oh, I just said that word.
You did? Oh,
Well,
cut.
you can edit that one out.
Safe
There we
from
go.
charm.
It was
From
just a D
charm.
word. It was the D word.
Dang
But
Darn it.
but so
Sorry.
anyway, so the idea is that he's going to outlive me, and so he was like, I'm gonna need someplace to come and visit, and I was like, well, just put a flag on, just tie a flag to my body, and he was like, really? There's Grandma out there. You see the red flag floating around?
Look,
Yeah,
it's
that's
great.
Grandma. And I was like,
Look, it's
no.
I like it.
Yeah.
Starting your own death ritual.
Just starting my own death ritual.
That's
The only one that I'm comfortable with at this moment.
Schultz House rules.
Schultz House rules. Good Lord. So anyway, so that was my super fun, not morbid at all topic.
Body Farm's got my mind spinning though.
But I really do understand. And there are places, I actually also found out about recently that there are places that actually do natural burials.
Mhm.
And so
Yeah,
you can have, the only marker that you can have would be a stone that's natural to the property.
Right.
There's places that are out in a field, or there's
Totally.
places that are under trees within the property. And you can be buried, you can be laid on top of the ground, which is what, so I was like, you know what, I really, realistically,
Yeah.
actually want to pursue that,
Isn't
if
that-
I can't have my peabog.
Isn't it interesting how that kind of burial, the kind of burial that since the beginning of human existence we have been using until maybe the past, what would you say, 200 or 300 years, maybe a little bit longer
Maybe.
than that, but
Oh,
okay. Isn't that funny that that's the commodity? Like that's the rare trend. Like I've heard of a place where
Yeah.
they'll bury you in the earth naturally.
right?
How about them apples?
Yeah.
And it costs you more to do that than
Oh my God.
I'm
Yeah.
sure it does.
Worth it.
So you gotta be
commercialized
super
version.
rich to be a little dirt thrown in.
Listen.
I mean, it's like,
I don't have as much student loans, I can do it.
Oh,
I just gotta sell my saffron and I'll be good.
Say, bury me now in the saffron sea.
Okay.
I don't know.
Alright, I'm
With
guessing
your
that that's
debt.
probably our show, guys.
We're just gonna be buried with our debt.
Yep,
There
for
you
sure. A bunch of receipts. Just making it rain receipts on my dead, cold face.
Oh my God.
Oh, my kids are crying, but not because they're sad, because
'Cause-
those receipts are all going to be picked up and put in their
Yes,
hands.
right.
Seems like, and now, this is yours.
It was just ritual putting them on his face. All right, goodbye, everybody. We're glad to see you.
Bye! We'll
Bye.
see you next
Bye.
week.
Listening, we love you.
Love you, mean it.
I already said it.
Dang it.